Hello, thank you for joining me today. We're looking at the final piece in the Grade 8 book. Finally we got here. C3, A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. This is a lovely, charming piece of music. It forms part of really a much wider collection of songs known as the Great American Songbook, which is really probably more than 1,000 songs. And that sounds like an incredible number, but songs written in the first half of the 20th century, often for musical theatre and other things like that, films, and it's part of a beautiful collection of jazz standards. So worth getting into if you like this sort of music. Right, let's get down to it. Let's start playing. The feel of this piece changes. There's moments where the music swings, and there's times where the music is played straight. I'll explain all of this in a few minutes. Let's play it, and then we can discuss afterwards. There's going to be a certain amount of freedom in how we play this. It's going to be quite loose, although there is a tempo given of 66 on the third bar, which is kind of like that kind of, you know, that sort of speed. That sort of approximate speed. Right, let's get down to it. Here we go. Right, let's go back to the beginning and see what we've got. We're starting off with this nice rolled chord here. Watch out for the treble clef in the left-hand part, and the pedalling is down as well, of course. Don't rush the roll. When you do these sort of rolls, don't go really fast. Let it be a bit more generous and spread out. It just sounds a bit more free and a bit more casual. and then a new pedal here. Because it's a free bar in terms of timing, you don't have to think of the semiquavers as, you know. So that's what we've got at the start. Generous roll. And then we commence our melody. Now this is quite smooth. Left hand suggests fingering there's a 3, then a 4, then a 5. Makes a lot of sense because it's legato. So watch out for that fingering suggestion there. Melody. I'm not too keen on the 4 on beat 2. I tend to use the second finger on the C flat, but you know, it's up to you. So far it's just a medium volume, it's not particularly loud, it's not really quiet, it's just medium, isn't it? Now, although there aren't loads of pedal markings written in from this point, it does say sim. If you look carefully, in bar 2 it just says sim underneath the bass notes. So we can pedal during this piece in each bar. We've just got to do it tastefully and not over pedal to the point it gets really blurry. So, you know, you have to be the best judge of this. If it sounds a bit blurry and a bit too much, you might need to pedal a few times in the bar. Clearly on bar 2, you'll pedal each of those chords. I call it pedal pumping, you know, because otherwise it's going to get blurry, which sounds awful. So. On that bar I'm pedal pumping a bit as well, just to alleviate some of that sustain, and then so bar 7, another generous roll. You might want to practice the left on its own and really get used to those jumps. You know, it's a fiddly little thing to get used to there in the left-hand part. I mean, because this is grade 8, of course, you're going to have to probably spend a bit of time just working on each separate part just to get used to it, particularly the left hand. Notice that in bar 8 you have that E flat on the top note of beat 3. Because of course we have E natural underneath it. That's the third beat of bar 8. In case some of you are wondering why the E flat is actually written there, because it's in the key signature. It's just to clarify, because you have the E natural underneath. Okay, so we're at bar 8. Did I do that wrong? I found that a bit tricky, that little... Just getting used to that going under the thumb. These are just major chords actually. A flat major, G flat major, and A flat major, E flat major, when you play them as separate chords. Now this is a fairly swingy moment here where it says swing, so but ultimately dropping in volume, so it's quite loud at the start with that accent, and then just dropping back. I'm a bit loud there, aren't I? We've got to be careful. MP, so that's horrible pedalling. A little bit more there. Wrong fingering. So it's broadening, isn't it? As we go from bar 12, and be careful because we've had bar 11 as swing, which is more jazzy, and then a straight rhythm in bar 12. Getting broader. And even here, a nice generous, worth practicing that on its own. By now we're loud, we're forte. I think I did that a bit sloppily there. The fingering suggested there in bar 15 is good. That makes sense. Doesn't need too much pedalling there really. And then here we go. Little accent there. There. Nice little touch. Look out for tenuto marks, which of course are just making sure you don't come off the note there. Then staccato. And then we can start to reduce the volume a bit here. Don't miss out the E flat in the right hand on bar 18. Little detail there, easily overlooked. That finger suggestion in the middle of bar 18 in the right hand, 4 to 3. Because you'll have played the 4 on B flat, switch it to a 3. Then you can reach that upper E flat. Don't miss that out. So we reach a point where we've got to be careful in bar 19 because we've got a potential page turn here. You could of course copy another page and have it next to you, but you'd have to have 2 pages because of course there's 2 more pages remaining. I think it's possible to turn the page there, provided you've got the corner turned up already so you can grab it. A good idea would be to just look at the left hand part, which remember is pedalled anyway here. This last bar of page 2 is pedalled. So we're talking about bar 19. We have the left hand playing these 7th intervals. We ultimately end up on B flat with the 3rd finger. I don't know why I played it with the 2nd finger. The 3rd finger. Okay, so that would be something to practice early on. If you're thinking of learning this piece, don't wait for a few weeks until you get to this point where you suddenly have to deal with it. Start learning that bit now. You turn the page. You know, ideally memorise that, especially that next page there, that next bar, so that you know what's coming. Okay, so I'm going to play it. We've got this interesting whole tone scale. If you've not played a whole tone scale, it's quite cool. It's that kind of fairy tale. Played very badly by me just then, but it's a scale used a lot in jazz as well. It's very, very dreamy sounding. So just be careful that in that bar 19, there's 2 slightly different rhythms because you've got the first half of it. So that's the first half. And the second half, which is continuous. So just be careful. So let's practice the page turn. And there we have it. So let's just move on now to the next bit. So bar 21 is swung. And suddenly we're back to straight, and there's a key change. We're going into G major temporarily. Okay, so let's just go from bar 21 and we'll hear that transition. And make sure that as you transition into the new key, you're remembering just to pull back on the volume, because we've had this quite loud section and then it's just dropping back to a more relaxed sound for this next section. Okay, so you could, just practice up to this point if you need, get that settled, and then we move into the the middle section of the song. Okay, here we go. I think I did that wrong. interesting moment there. That little bit of staccato towards the end. It's a nice little moment. Oops, the D is supposed to be held here actually. Bar 25. It sounds odd when you hear it on its own, but that's right. And then we're arriving on, if we've done that fingering, we're arriving on a thumb probably here. This is the bar 26. And then we have to lift our thumb off to get to the next note. That's interesting. A little bit of staccato and smooth. Wrong chord. That jump there. Just got to get used to that, and these dotted minims lasting as you change the inner part of the chord there. Got to sound confident, it's got to be well known. So let's go from bar 27. Now I've repeatedly done this next bit wrong because the left hand in bar 30, the 3 is a good idea. On the video I didn't do a 3, I don't think, when I played it earlier, but it's a good idea. So you need to get used to the fingering suggestion in bar 29. We're going to a 5 on B flat at the end of the bar 29, switching to a thumb, which is what I didn't do. That allows you then to get to the D of the 3. Be very careful when you do a piece at this level that you don't take too many shortcuts with the fingering just for the sake of getting through the piece, which is kind of what I've done in a sense in places when I recorded this earlier, because it's easy to just do something slightly different, but maybe that slightly different way isn't always as secure. So just be disciplined with it. Try to probably go for the 3. It's safer in the long run. So let's look at the left hand one more time. Bar 29. Go to the effort of getting the 5, switch it, and then go to the 3. I mean, you could be very brave and go straight to a thumb, which is also actually okay. I don't have a problem with that. At this speed, it's not that hard to do. So, yeah, I can do that. Instantly, I feel better about bar 30 now. I'm using the 3. So there we go. Little rolled chord. And it's building up more and more, isn't it, in volume? But we've got to be careful because it's not going super loud, but at that point I don't really feel like pedaling it too much. Oops. Sounds wrong, but it's right. Just that last part of it's nice and clean without the pedal. To me anyway, I think it's good. The next bit is like earlier, and we have a slightly swing sound here. Exactly like earlier, we have that accent. And the tenuto note there, where we're just holding the note. And back to straight rhythm. And at this point we've got to be very careful not to be loud at all, nice and soft, with a slight accelerando, so it kind of temporarily edges forwards here. I'll do it properly this time. But it's pulling back, isn't it, on that next bar. As we crescendo, we're pulling back, and then we're jumping. What an interesting chord. Wonderfully ethereal and magical sounding. And that sense of kind of really suddenly relaxing a lot from this big chord. And then finally this bit which is very free. And then soft but building. It kind of does the opposite of what I want to do. I feel like getting quieter. I feel like doing that, but it's the opposite. And so just be careful that you also go with the dynamic marking there. And the pedalling is very specific here. They want you to hold all of those last notes down. It's meant to sound a little bit blurry there towards the end. So there you go. A charming piece and a lovely thing to learn. So that's the end of it for now for grade 8. That's all of the pieces covered. If you're still watching the video at this point, thank you for staying with me and bearing with me through this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it, because it's always good for our channel to build up a following. And very soon I'll be looking at some completely new pieces, which will hopefully be fun to consider learning. Thanks for now. As I record this video, it's the end of 2025 nearly. We're coming to Christmas, so have a lovely break if you're watching this at the end of December, and I'll catch up with you in the new year for some new videos. Thanks for watching.